Hey guys, it's Sophia. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to give you a tour of what is in my range bag. First of all, my choice for a range bag is the GPS range bag line. It is owned by GSM Outdoors. In total transparency, this video is sponsored by GSM. I was actually using their bags and walkers, eye pro, ear pro, and even their knives, SOG knives and Cold Steel before they ever sponsored me. So I was so excited to get this sponsorship. I'm so happy to stand behind such a great product. So let's just do a tour of this range bag. So of course, up front, you have some Velcro where you can put your favorite patches on here. I have She Shield and then this American flag patch that comes with the bag. Something I love about this bag is that it has shooting in mind. So the first top zipper of the bag can hold any of your essentials. It is here that I put things like cash, chapstick, my inhaler, anything that I need to quickly access. From here, the second pouch has a place for your ear pro, so some foamies. It has an extra zipper pocket, as well as a place for a phone, a walkie-talkie, just anything you would like to store in this. I use this for my rechargeable battery that I take with me on the range. The third pouch has ammo dump baskets, which allow you to dump your ammo in it, and that way if you need to reload, you can simply fold this down, put the ammo dumping bowls here, throw your ammo into there, and then use it to reload and organize your gear. Next, we have a pouch for tools, and then we have this small little organization tub for any small pieces that you need on the range. If you're like me, you lose little screws every now and then, and this is the perfect place for that. Next, we have our upper and largest compartment. This is where I throw my ear pro, eye pro, first aid, and anything that is larger. Next are these side pouches. So this one right here is great for storing additional firearms, or if you are storing your match gun in here, it just gets it away from everything else, as this pocket is just for that firearm, and that way you're not throwing it in the same compartment with other pieces of gear. So when I arrive to the range and I go on the safe table, I'm able to pull this out of this side pocket, and then I'm able to open my case on the safe table, pull my firearm out, of course holster it from here, and then I can put this case back in this pouch. Next is this bottom compartment that actually holds up to 3 more cases that you can store up to 2 firearms in each case. So say you're a firearms instructor and you need a bag that you can take with you to your class to haul all of your firearms for you that maybe your students are using. This is a wonderful addition for that. Since I'm typically going to only shoot a few firearms, I actually took those cases out of here and I use it as an additional storage pouch. I put things like food, towels, any cold or hot gear, and of course other random miscellaneous things like toiletries in here. And then if we flip it over to the other side, we have another pouch here that is intended to be for your stapling gun. That's what I have in there. And then it has this other side pocket that is intended for tape in case you need to paste targets or repair anything. A small hidden design are these target holders on the side. So if you have paper targets, you can roll them up and simply put them in these 2 holders to carry with you on the range. And that way you aren't having to carry a piece of paper with you around, because you will surely have an ammo can or other large heavy gear with you. Overall, I would rate the comfort of this backpack a 10 out of 10. I've had to carry this with me from bay to bay during matches so that I have all of my gear with me in one place. And I love that they have these very comfortable hip pads and then this mesh back to wick any sweat that you have. And you know, if you compete in USPSA, IDPA, anything like that, you're probably sweating. You can also clasp the hip pads together to have a little bit of lumbar support, and that way you aren't having to rely on your shoulders the entire time to carry the weight of the bag. I also have a few things clipped on the side, like my glasses cleaner and a little carabiner for my keys, because I always lose my keys when I go to the range and then I have to dig through my pack. So this keeps my keys nice and accessible. Lastly are these MOLLE panels on the side and front, so that if you want to attach a first aid kit per se, you can do so easily. Overall, this has been my favorite pack from GPS so far. This is their tall range backpack. I will link it in the description of this video along with a discount code for you all if you are interested today. Full transparency, I do make commission with GPS, but I fully believe in what they are doing. I've used their things before I ever started working with them, and I've so far only had positive experiences using their quality products. Now let's get into what is inside of this backpack. Next, let's talk about the most important thing you will take on the range with you, and that is eye and ear protection. Not only are you usually required to have both of these on when you enter a range, especially if it's hot, but you also want to be vigilant about protecting your ears and eyes. Sensory hair cells in the ears are non-regenerative, so if you damage them, there's a chance you will not be able to regain that hearing. There's nothing worse than being on the range and someone just popping off a shot without saying anything like going hot or eyes and ears, and then you basically have this ringing in your head the rest of the day. My brand of choice for hearing and eye protection is Walkers. This is because the very first time I shot a gun, Walkers impressed me with the ability to communicate on the range without having to hear the actual gunshots. This is what they are known for, so today we are going to talk about what I use for indoor shooting as well as outdoor. For indoor shooting, I like to have a pair of foamies in my ears. All you have to do is compress the foam and then put it in your ear and kind of hold it there while the foam expands in your ear canal. And then on top of that, I like to have my Walkers over-the-ear headphones. Walkers has a range of over-the-ear protection, such as these FireMaxes, which are known as their best top-of-the-line tech for over-the-ear range protection. This is what I choose to couple with my foam earplugs when I shoot indoors. As you can see here, there is an on button, a volume control button, and a button to switch your settings for what you want to optimize in your environment. For example, say you want to isolate the sound of your instructor's voice on the range, you can do so by toggling over to that voice isolation option on the side button here. I will probably never go back to the Slims after doing these, but I will say the Razer Slims did provide adequate protection over 3 years of shooting. For outdoor shooting, my choice is the Walkers Disruptors. This is my favorite addition to the Walkers line. I used to shoot mostly with the Walkers Silencers 2.0s because they were just incredible, but they upgraded their tech on these, I can tell, as I have switched to them for a couple of recent matches to really give them a good test. The Disruptors, like the FireMaxes, allow you to isolate different sounds in your environment, like the voice isolation feature I mentioned, and they also have Bluetooth compatibility. You might be wondering, why would you need this? Well, there are several times I've been on an outdoor range training during a work day in the week to get content, to just train, to be out there, to get away, whatever. And I'll get a call from work and there will still be people shooting on the bays adjacent to mine. So I have the ability to leave my ear pro on and also answer the phone and talk to whoever I need to talk to. In order to optimize the fit of these, like the foam earplugs, you will also compress the foam, hold it in your ear, and wait for it to fully expand in the ear canal for a customized fit. The earbuds will charge in its case, so you just have to make sure to keep the case charged. Both the Disruptors and Silencers run about $250 for the ensemble of the charging case and the earbuds, so make sure to go to their website and do an accurate comparison of the two to see which would be a best fit for you. Like I said, the Disruptors are the ones I've been grabbing lately, and I will link them in the description of this video along with the discount code, because $250 can be a lot, but when it comes to your ear protection, it is absolutely worth it. Because of their range of options when it comes to isolating different sounds in your environment, you can utilize these earbuds in other facets of your life, like the gym or at home for business calls, whatever the case may be. Say you're looking for headphones right now for the gym, but you also need some ear pro for the range. You could go ahead and just invest in this pair to get the best of both worlds. These are the Teal impact resistant sport glasses. The reason I always pick these up is because they exceed the eye protection standard for ranges, which is known as the ONSI Z87.1-2010 impact requirement. This is a standard that is available to ensure that the eye protection you choose for the range can actually protect you from fragments and not just be these like standard lenses that you pick up from the gas station. This ONSI standard is something that is generally good to know. Anytime you are picking up eye protection, make sure that it meets this qualification, because not all eye pro is protective. Next is first aid gear. So of course, anytime you have first aid gear, you wanna make sure you know how to use it. Classes like Stop the Bleed are an incredible time and financial investment, so make sure you look into those. So in this pouch, which will be included in the description of this video, I have a backup tourniquet because my main tourniquet is a cat tourniquet and that is always on my person. I have this SWAT T tourniquet here as backup, like I said, a compressed crinkle gauze kit, a pair of shears, sanitary medical gloves, hemostatic gauze, and a small roll of duct tape here just in case, all in this tiny patch that has a MOLLE backing in case I would like to secure it on my bag, on my belt, or anywhere else. In addition to my first aid kit, I always have an emergency inhaler. Because I'm an asthmatic, this is something that I know I need on my person, and I am always sure to communicate with those around me that if I, for some reason, undergo an asthma attack, they can retrieve my inhaler for me, give it a good shake, and help me administer it to myself. If you have any other pieces of gear that pertain to your safety, make sure you add this to your first aid kit. I actually have this same pack for my car so that if I need to quickly access it, I can. Next is a speed loader. So I used to think that these were kind of overrated. I couldn't find it on Amazon and I was like, I don't want to go anywhere and have to buy this, but it is the single best decision I've made for my USPSA range bag, especially if you're like me and you have mag extensions and those springs, especially in the beginning, are super tight. So having a mag loader to help you compress the spring, and that way you don't have to do it manually, especially on those last few rounds, is so helpful. This particular brand is Uplula. I'm sure you've seen it around at your ranges. They have other bright colors so that you won't lose them in your range bag like me because you chose black. So I highly recommend doing that in addition to this. I do not work with them. I'm not sponsored by them. I just highly recommend them and I will link them in the description. I'm kind of going out of order here, but next is dry grip. This is something that is especially helpful in the summer when your hands are sweaty or say you're reapplying sunscreen on the range. Dry grip is essentially liquid chalk that will help you keep your hands nice and dry and have some traction when you go to grip your firearm. Next, let's talk about snacks. So something I love to have on the range is a combination of a dried fruit. So this chocolate drizzled mango jerky is so good. You can also just get the one without mango, and they even have some with like a little bit of cayenne on it, just word vomited. So that's really cool. And then I love these Pro protein bars. They have 20 grams of protein per bar. They are vegan, which is the type of protein I digest best. So I like to have one of these. And then I always like to have some type of jerky. These are Nick sticks and they have 10 grams of protein per stick, and they're just kind of yummy, and it gives me something to eat that isn't super sugar spiky, but gives me that long sustained protein. Next is a pair of gloves. These are the Mechanics Impact gloves. Of course, I don't work with them, but I do like these, especially for buildup and tear down of stages. I do recommend having gloves with fingers though, because you do have to like tear targets off of wood, and sometimes you can get a splinter. But so far these have worked for me. I'm definitely on the market for a new pair with fingers. I also recommend having a bandana that wraps around the neck. So this is kind of an infinity bandana, and that way you can protect your neck from the sun. This is something that is really hard to cover up. Even if you have a sun shirt, it will notoriously bend down and you can get a little sunburn here. So if you're like me and you like to wick sweat, protect your skin, and then also just have something readily available to wipe things on, this is a great option. Next is my packed timer. This is a shot timer that allows me to record the initial shot as well as the successive shots on the range so that I can look at my transition times as well as my time from draw to shot. This is incredibly helpful when it comes to diagnosing your shooting and of course progressing. I do not work directly with Pact, however they did send me this timer, so I'll link them in the description, but I do not make a commission off of talking about them. Something I like to make sure I have with me in addition to my USPSA rig is my Filster Enigma. I'm usually wearing this on the way to the range anyway, and then I take it off at a safe table, but I can always shoot my competition from inside the waistband in case I have some type of gear malfunction or malfunction with my competition firearm. So this is a really good alternative to just have on me. I have the sport belt attachment, which makes it easier to do dynamic movements in. Last is a a wad of cash. I know that sounds really random, but there are several ranges I've been to that do not accept card or something like that. So you'll drive out there and then they won't accept your card, and you'll have to give them cash. And also for range fees, that can range anywhere from $15 to $25. So just make sure you know that fee the day before. And if you're unable to pay online, be sure to have some cash on hand. This concludes my range bag tour. Before you go, please hit that subscribe button. Don't be afraid to turn on those notifications because YouTube is becoming my main platform for in-depth educational content, so be sure to follow along. I would love to see you back here. If there's anything you would like me to go into further detail with, anything I missed, please let me know. I do plan on doing videos on cold weather and warm weather gear so that you can stay nice and cool or nice and warm during the seasonal changes for USPSA, IDPA, range visits, whatever it may be. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, check out any of these videos and we'll see you in the next one.